So the forum begins this Friday and will go on for a couple of days. That's when the other 50-odd prime ministers from the Commonwealth nations will be in Colombo talking about their Commonwealth business. I think that the controversy over Sri Lanka is going to make human rights groups redouble their efforts to try and hold the country accountable. The question is whether it will do much to change the mind of the government. Some people think that it might nudge them towards a better behaviour, but most people I speak to seem to think that it's quite likely just to make them dig their heels in, and actually the controversy around the summit may do them no harm, because to domestic audiences it will allow the president to appear to be standing up to foreigners and defending his country, which is a position that he is quite comfortable in. And so ultimately it leaves the critics of Sri Lanka, that is the human rights groups and countries like America and Britain and Canada, in a bit of a quandary as to how they proceed, because it isn't immediately clear if all of the controversy about the summit isn't enough to change the government's opinion, what else they're going to be able to do to cajole the government of Sri Lanka to change its ways.
It is a tough message. Look, it shouldn't be a completely uncompromising message. There are some positive steps that have been taken in Sri Lanka. The fact that they had elections to a northern provincial council, the fact that there is a process of reconciliation. It's just not going as far as we'd like it to go. So, on the ledger, there are some things on the positive side, but, there are too many things on the negative side.
In the background, the other issue that makes this complicated is China, because although Sri Lanka is a South Asian country, it's English-speaking, it has historic links to the West. Recently, it's become much closer to China, mostly because the Chinese have provided them with money to build infrastructure after the war. So if you go to Colombo and around the country, there are nice new roads and new ports and airports, and a lot of that has been funded by Chinese money and built by Chinese workers. Therefore, the West and also India faces a dilemma in how it deals with Sri Lanka, because they want to put pressure on the country to change the way it is behaving, but they don't want to put on so much pressure that Sri Lanka decides that it should throw itself in with the Chinese and basically give up on being a friend of the West. And so that is an added complication for those who are trying to pressure the government to alter its behavior.